Hey, what's up guys? Back in the workshop for a bit here this afternoon, and I'm working on the leatherwork today. If you haven't seen the last video, go ahead. I'll try to remember to put a card up top here now. But we made this beautiful batch of blades here, which are finished up. And we also have that orange santoku here and a wood block. But I have the leatherwork for all of these right now. So that's what we're going to be getting to. Now, I have these are all template knives. So I can have pre-drawn up leather templates as well, which I do. So we have the leather for the santoku, the couple bake apples, and the couple tuckamore frames there. And what I do, my strategy, is to cut out the template and the welt. Then the next step would be to glue, but before you glue, you have to put in put your rivets in for your belt loop. If you don't do that before, you're not going to be able to get down inside the sheath. So I'll rivet the belt loop over, then I'll glue my sheaths. I use some handy little paper clips for that, and then right now these are all glued up but no stitching or anything in them. So now I'll take them on the belt grinder and we'll finish those edges. So we'll grind them into the shape they're going to be. We don't want to mark our stitch line or do any stitching before then, because our line's going to change. I'm going to reshape the edges of the sheaths a little bit. So we're going to get to that right now. Now the next stage of my project here is to run a stitch groove. And I was just thinking about talking about stitch grooving, but I thought, why don't I just show you guys what I have in my leatherworking toolkit here. This is a used tackle box that I picked up some time ago. I thought it would be neat to store all my leather tools in. And this is not everything I have. I have some different stuff dispersed about. Stamps and thread and all kinds of different stuff like that. But this is the bulk of my tools here. I'll show you what I have. So this right here is a craft tool brand Skiver. You can see a blade mounts right there, and it allows me to hog out material, to thin down material roughly if I need to. This is also a type of Skiver, but you can see it has a nice curve, so it really scalps. Allows you to curve out material. It's usually how I thin down the spine of the sheaths inside here so they fold over nicely. Down the bottom here I have a bunch of different modeling tools for wet forming and fitting things. This thing is really handy. I can't remember the brand of it. It wasn't real expensive, but it works amazingly to help me to create leather lace, and I mainly use that for axe collars. This is my stitch groover, thread space setter, so it has the wheel of points there, so as you roll it creates those dots. Keep a small gouge in here for gouging out the inside of sheaths for rivets, because that rivet protrudes on the inside there. So I gouged the leather in so the rivet sits in below the surface and it doesn't mark your knife. A pencil as well, some other points for stitch spacing, spare blades. This is cool. This is a leather strap cutter. So it'll cut up to, I'm not sure what it is, 3/4 of an inch, but it's a blade, it's a draw system here. Not cheap, but a handy little tool to have around. On this next layer I don't have a lot here now. I do have all different size of these stitch punchers, which I don't use often. I prefer to drill my holes, but I do have a set of them just in case. Different size snap and rivet setters here, all different size for that. I have an a bunch of different styles of needles, utility blade. Down here I have some spare stuff, clips, rivets, Chicago screws, another stitch setter, a little bit of thread, but not a lot down here right now. Now you see now I've final ground this shape of the edge, so now we can mark for a stitch groove. I do that on just the top side first, and you can see I can set the depth here in from the edge, and when we draw this along, this will pull a nice deep trench up through there. Now I usually set it by how thick our welt is, and that looks about right there. So with that little mark, I should be about middle of the middle of the welt. You just want to score that cutter in. It can take a little bit of skill to get this right, so you don't botch your sheath, and this will really wreck your sheath quick if you're falling over. But it creates a nice deep trench just like that for our stitch to sit down in, and it allows us to have real nice stitch holes as well. Let me check and make sure this, yeah, that'll work for there. Now this is technically called an overstitch wheel. I use it for marking my stitches, but obviously the spacing of the teeth and the diameter of the wheel changes how far apart your string spacing is. So this is the one. I've had several different ones. This is the one I like. It leaves little marks like you see here. We'll just run that wheel right along in that trench. That'll give us a nice clean layout. Now you see right here, I actually started out here because I wanted to make sure there was a stitch hole right on that line break, so our stitch starts to fall, so we have a perfectly straight line and then it drops properly. If I start it back here, then our stitch might break across those 2 points, and then you'd have that rounded look, which I don't want. I want a nice sharp break there. Now with these holes so cleanly marked, I'll go over to the drill press with a 1/16 bit and I will punch all these through. I don't gouge the back yet because we wouldn't have a perfect finish. We'd be punching out on either side of our trench just by how level our sheath sits on the drill press, and it's tough to get it perfect. I've got a pretty good eye for it now, but it took a while, so you don't want to groove the back side until the stitches are done, and then you can follow the stitches a little more than you follow the edge. Alright guys, time got away from me a little bit, but I did manage to get 2 bake apple sheaths stitched up. I'll stitch the other 2 inside this evening. That is how it's done. Look at that. Tidy little fit. Really happy with the development of the bake apple sheath. It's gone through a few different renditions as far as templates go, and this one I'm at now I think is by far the best. Just feels so good. Such a handy knife. EDC, back up to your main companion. Even as a main blade, I've taken a lot of times in the woods as my companion. The Takamores, of course, the Takamore sheaths, they aren't stitched yet, but we'll slip those in there, take them inside. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a little something. If you didn't, I hope at least you were entertained. This buffalo horn handled knife, this beautiful, beautiful knife. Have a look at this. This knife is still available. Email me. The email on the screen there right now. Oh, look at that horn. Copper tube there. It's available for you to purchase. Scandi grind. Available for you to purchase. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out my website, Noseworthy.com. I'd really appreciate it. Check out the shop over there. Maybe there's something that'll interest you. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.